Welcome. We bid you welcome. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner of the world and from his music corner of the world. My faithful co-captain on all these lovely journeys. I give you John the Music Nut. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, my friend. How
Oh boy.
about you?
I'll tell you what a weekend. What a weekend it has been. Friday was one of those crazy days. Friday I'm at work and I get a text talking about uh, from Mike Ladano tells me that Steve Riley here, who was in Wasp, passed away. And I'm like, oh man, sad to hear that. I do the show with Mike, and which you can now see on Grab a Stack of Rock from this past Friday, talking about our favorite number one, our favorite songs with the number one in it. So we get done with that show, and I get on Facebook, and lo and behold, another Wasp connection has passed away, and I'm talking about let's see, where's my fingers here? So yeah, wherever you can't, my fingers are doing terrible here. Richard Mole, he was
Right.
in the movie Dungeon Master, where of course Wasp plays Tormentor and plays a kind of a villainous role in the movie. Tony Richards is actually still on drums yet in the band, so that's pretty cool. If my memory serves me correctly, it's been a while since I've watched the movie, so but I think that is correct. So man, rest in peace, Steve Riley and Richard Mole. Of course, more people would know Richard Mole as Bull from Night Court. Of course, that's where I know him the best. I've been known to say okay the way he did in that show. Okay, but anyway, yeah, it's a shame that he didn't want to come back for the reboot, but uh it's if he was having health issues, that's probably another good reason why. So all that to say, we're going to be doing today we're going to do this is going to be one of the second last things of our Armored Saint series. Today we hit the dream set list.
That's right.
So without further ado, I'm going to give it to John, and he will rattle off his list, and then I will give you mine, and we'll go from there. So good
All
take.
right. Thank you, John. Now, I made some changes to this at the last minute since we last talked about this, John, because I originally told you we were going to go 15 songs and a 5-song encore. I decided to add another song to keep up the momentum of the show.
I probably went a couple extra songs over 20. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Yeah. Because I was thinking about momentum, the ebb and the flow of this show. So here we go. Naturally, the show's got to be at the House of Blues in LA. I mean, that's their home turf. That's the where they are truly embraced. Um, Armored Saint, what would be my favorite, my dream set list? First 3 songs, you got to go with the opening track from the first 3 albums in succession. No, like second song, third song. So if you know the catalog, you know what songs I'm talking about. March of the Saint, we're going to open with that. We're going to go into Long Before I Die, and then we're going to go right into Raising Fear. And then John takes the mic and he says, we're going to go all over the catalog tonight. Let's see if you remember this one. And they go into Last Train Home from Symbol Salvation. Like I said, we're going all over the catalog. We're going to go to the latest album, Punch in the Sky, when we're going to go with the first single, End of the Attention Span. And then we're going to go back to Win Hands Down and play the title track. So, like I said, we're going to hit everything here. We're going back to La Raza on the next song, Get Off the Fence. So you got to keep that momentum building, and then you got to take it down. We're going to take it down for the beautiful Another Day. When you take it down, you got to bring it back up and you hit the Revelation album in the opening track, Pay Dirts. Segues right into Crisis of Life. So those two are like peanut butter and jelly to me. Those two should be played together. Then John takes the mic. We're going all the way back to the EP. 1982, and we're going into Lesson Well Learned. Now we go back to Delirious Nomad. We go into Aftermath. We have that slow burn. We have that long solo that ends the song, and then that song ends really abruptly, and the stage goes dark. And then you hear the church bells kick in. The church bells get louder and louder. And then the lights come back on into the opening chords, and they go into Left Hook from Right Field from La Raza. And then we go all the way back to March of the Saints into a deep cut. And the diehards are going to really appreciate this when they go into those opening chords. They're going to be like, wow, I can't believe they're playing Stricken by Fate.
Ooh, yes. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. And then we're going to go to Punch in the Sky again, to the closer that John and I really love. Never You Fret. This point, the place is going bonkers because they're like, they've hit a lot of deep cuts, they've hit a lot of the old stuff, and they're playing the great new stuff too. But that's not going to end the set. We're going to end the set with Upon My Departure, and when Upon My Departure is playing, they're going to have pictures and video of Dave Pritchard throughout. So you have to have that, because as we've said when we were reviewing Revelation, there's a link to Dave here, and Dave was so important to that band. He was a brother to them, and and very important to the longtime fans and to the newer fans as well, because he brought us a lot of joy with his guitar licks and his songs. That's going to end the set. Encore, we go 5 tracks. And we're going to go in a percussive direction here.
Ooh.
So you got to get Eddie Rouse and John Saxon on stage. You got to get the congas and the percussion kit up there, because we're going to open with La Raza.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you. And that is going to segue into some more great percussion. And Gonzo's going to be playing his ass off, and the crowd's going to be going nuts. And we're going to go right into Tribal Dance.
Ooh, I'm getting funky already. I like it.
That's right. Now we go a little more old school. We go back to Delirious Nomad. This is something that diehards are going to love. We're going to do The Laugh, because that's one the crowd's going to be into it at this point. They're so revved up for what they've heard before. They've had a few beers. They're rocking out. They're enjoying this. And you got to, last 2 songs, if you're a Saint fan for a long time, you got to do these. And there will be one glaring omission here. It's just a personal thing. Not that I don't like the song. I do love it, but I love Chemical Euphoria more. I think Chemical Euphoria should always be played at their songs. At their shows, I mean.
I agree.
And then that's going to go into your closer, and that, of course, will be Can You Deliver? So there's your set. No Madhouse. That's the song I was referring to. I love Madhouse a lot, but I was thinking about the ebb and flow of the show. You want to make sure you hit every album, because every album is quite good. And like I said, there's a lot to offer on all these albums. And there you go. There's my set list.
Okay. Wow. I'm not sure I can top this. So I'm realizing I probably need to remember to write down what albums everything is from. So I did a very bad job of that. So in the beginnings of my set, so I posed this question to you in an email.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, okay, so what's a song that you hear that you got to follow with the second one? Like,
right.
Well, yeah, what's a song that comes to mind? It can be from anybody. For
Okay, so when you say that though, what are you thinking of, like a song that has to be,
for
are
ex-
you thinking
okay,
of this
for example, when you think Aces High, what has to follow it?
2 minutes to midnight?
When you think Heartbreaker from Led Zeppelin, what's got to follow it?
I know where you're going. Live and love and
Okay.
hate. Just like bringing on the heartbreak, you got to play Switch 525.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
So yeah, I know where you're going, but like when I think of Armored Saint, I was thinking these songs would sound really good together and like
Mhm.
back to back. And
Oh
that's why
yeah,
I was saying Pay Dirt, go right into Crisis of Life. So
sure,
okay. So
sure.
you're thinking along this end.
So I'm thinking for me, so my opening track here is going to be from Punch in the Sky, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. You got that great intro
Mm-hmm.
that you can play right before. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to keep this in LA, but I don't know. I like House of Blues too, but I don't know. I think the Whiskey a Go Go would be a good place
Oh,
for
there you
this
go.
too. I don't know.
That'll work.
Anyway, but Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, you get this great opening. That maybe you could probably do the tracks a little bit too, and then obviously the band comes on, boom, you get that big punch right in the beginning. But you got to follow it off with End of the Attention Span.
Right.
That's do you talk about a 1-2 punch? Those songs go so well together. So that's kind of where I was thinking.
Okay. Gotcha.
You'll probably see a little bit of that kind of throughout the rest of my set here.
All right.
Then we go back to Revelation and we're going to hit the Pay Dirt.
Nice.
So we got to go into that. We're actually going to stick on Revelation, but it's not the song that follows it. But let's kind of go with the idea where they were at with the attention span thing, and let's do a little Control Issues.
Nice.
Gotta keep and keep that tempo up and going.
Nice.
From there, they jump in from so you have all these control issues, which sometimes that can lead to a crisis of life.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So for Raising of Fear, we go into that. We go to the title track of Symbol of Salvation. Nice. So we go straight into that, and then I like this idea of the Symbol of Salvation, and then Left Hook from Right Field. They kind of there's kind of some similar themes going on there. Mm-hmm. So I go with that. There, well, maybe it is a lesson well learned, depending on how you approach all that. So we go back to the EP and we take that on. Now we tackle some When Hands Down album. So we go right to the title track.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's like Muscle Memory. I mean, come on.
Nice.
Let's get into Muscle Memory. Let's slow it down a little bit now. We figure we've been going full all guns blazing here for a while. So let's kind of chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go to La Raza with some chilled. But nah, we don't stay there. Go back to Symbol of Salvation. Let's kick it off with Rain of Fire.
Nice.
And then straight into Dropping Like Flies.
Mm.
You get another 1-2 punch because I believe that
is right there.
Beautiful. And where's a place where you do tend to see a lot of people dropping like flies? In a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta keep that intensity up with that. So
definitely.
So yeah, I'm gonna go up a few of them like there. But then after everybody's been dropping like flies in the war zone, then it's time to get on the last train home. So we're gonna do like a whole whole symbol thing here. So our sequence here. So the last train home. But let's kick it right back into Chemical Euphoria.
Nice.
Gotta get that in there. Now let's do a couple tracks from Delirious Nomad. We'll do Nervous Man. That kind of slows things down just a wee bit. But let's pull a deep cut out. Brian Slagle named a book from Metal Blade, named a book after this track we're talking about, For the Sake of Heaviness.
Yeah.
Great track. Then this is about the only other ballad that I kind of throw in here for this one. we finish we cool things down with Unfair. You know, John maybe does a little drunk driving thing, maybe, I don't know, but he gives a little story about what the song was about. But then, just as that album gives you a 1-2 punch to end it, my set closer is also Never You Fret.
Nice.
So you're probably thinking, hey, wait a minute, you're missing an album here. No, because the encore is going to be a 3-song encore. And we're just going to do a 1-2-3 punch. We're going to kick it off. You get that intro to March of the Saint, which then you got to go straight into Can You Deliver? And then let's just end the whole thing with Let the Turn the Place into a Madhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And there you have it.
Nice.
That's what I put together. So yeah, that's I think the set still came under about 2 hours, minus any yakking from stage or extended solos or anything like that. But yeah, about 22 or 23 songs. Gonzo, you're probably going to kill me for all those up tempo songs, because that's a lot of fast stuff going up throughout that whole album. But this whole set. But again, I think I tried to get a little bit of everything, and I had to pay a homage to the EP a little bit, and I think we both did that. We both hit all the albums pretty equally. So
right, it was and it got hard here because I was taking some out. I originally had Chilled in mind. Yeah, I had to do a whole new page because I was crossing off too many, because I'm thinking about the order that they're going to go in. I was originally putting A Truth Always Hurts in the encore, but then when I thought La Raza in the encore, you want to keep that percussive thing going. You got to go into Tribal Dance, because you're thinking, okay, here's the big mosh pit during the encore.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that works. And then I'm thinking the other two guys playing percussion, it would be a circus. It would a beautiful circus.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. And to take a phrase from Wasp, maybe an electric circus, but
there you go.
Anyway, well, for me, I wound up putting the playlist on my phone, and I just decided to go for a drive.
Oh, nice.
And I play it, and I just have the road in front of me, and I just let the playlist go. And I thought, okay, I would definitely be jonesing to see this set. This seemed like everything flowed well, even though I got home, I think before this, I was at the end of the set. I was pretty convinced that I felt pretty good up until wherever I finished off. So yeah, so there you go. Okay, Armored Saint Nation. Now we got to hear from you. What is your dream set list? Let's and how long would you make it? Where would you put it? Is there who knows? We'll leave that one up to you. I'll be interested to read what your comments say, and we will. We got one more that we're going to do in this series, and that is going to be just ranking the albums. And I don't know about John, but good God Almighty. Anywho, so for my co-captain, John the Music Nut, from his music corner of the world, John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad. We'll see you next week when we rank the albums of Armored Saint. Catch you soon.
Cheers.
Okay. Oh.